Welcome to the Invention Stories on YouTube. My name is Robert Bear. I'm your host, and thank you for watching. Today we share the story of Marguerite Spagnuolo, which previously has been shared as the Invention Stories podcast episode on September 15th, 2021. Please be sure to subscribe, comment, and like. Thank you, and let's roll. You're listening to our interview with Marguerite Spagnuolo about her invention, Grandmas2Share. Now, I'm a little bit of a different kind of person, and I like things that are a little bit different, so when I saw her recordable plush grandma dolls, well, they just spoke to me. We have Marguerite Spagnuolo on the line from Staten Island, New York. So let's get started. Welcome to the podcast, Marguerite. It's great to have you with us today, and I'd like to start off by asking you, where did you grow up?
Right here, Staten Island, New York. I'm a native New Yorker. Born and raised right here on Staten Island.
All right. What kind of kid were you? Were you an adventurous kid? Did you try to pull apart the TV?
I was a very, I guess I want to say sheltered, but not really. We had a great group of friends growing up, but I had very, very strict parents. So we stayed within our own community. I played with kids all day. As I got older, wasn't allowed out past 11 o'clock. I was engaged. I had to be home at 11 o'clock. He was really strict. But I had the best childhood. I wish my kids could have experienced that. We were outside playing all day, all night. It was so fun. I loved my childhood. I thought it was fabulous.
It's good. Did you know any inventors?
No. I was actually the first of my kind. People went out, worked for sanitation. They got a job. They were a police officer. They worked for the gas company. Very few people. I didn't really know anyone who had their own business.
Wow.
No, but I started my own business at 19. I opened up a nail salon. We did all phases of nails, everything but hair. Nails, facials, waxing, all that stuff.
What happened to it?
I fixed the entire place. I made it beautiful. And a year later, my landlord didn't renew my lease and took the place back. So I worked at home and I opened up a salon in my house and I did it for almost 20 years.
What gave you the idea for Grandmas2Share?
Well, I was very close growing up with my grandmothers. I was very close to my grandmothers. My parents were very involved in family. Everything was family, family, family. I saw my grandmother every day. And then when I had my own kids, both grandparents had passed. And my daughter asked me, what is your grandmother's like? Because she's very close. My kids are very close to my mother and my mother-in-law. So I had described my grandmother, both of my grandmothers, to my kids. And I was drawing it like a big paper doll. And I drew it just what she used to wear with the pearls and how she used to dress. And my daughter said, wow, I wish she was really here. And I said, bingo, me too. So that was it. I went right into Googling, research. Couldn't find a grandma doll on the market. There's nothing like that grandmother love. Every child feels that nurturing, when mommy says no, grandma says yes. So I said, this is great. I have to do this. So I originally created 2 dolls based on the likeness of my own grandmothers. They were for people who didn't have grandmas. So I didn't make the voice recordable because I thought, how creepy would that be? You have a doll, you don't have a grandma, who's going to record the voice? So it came with an automated voice that I had hired a voiceover artist to make the voice or sayings that my grandmother used to say. Then I went on the show, The Toy Box, and then, it went great. People were ordering. And then I got a lot of emails saying, I want to record my own voice for my grandchild. And I thought, oh, good. So people with grandmas too will love this doll as well. So the new research, the new development, everything had to be redone, revamped, started the whole business all over again 3 years later. And here we are with our recordable dolls.
So did you have any experience with plush dolls before that?
Nothing. Zero. I completely threw myself into this 24/7, like I said, which is why I didn't have a minute to breathe. Raising 2 kids, yes, playing poker and trying to start this company. Had no idea what it entailed. Business license, the lawyers, everything for the trademark, getting it patented. I had no idea it was going to be this much. And I do it alone. The boxing, the billing, the shipping, the creating, the designing, the meetings in China at 3 a.m. That's all me. So I had no idea what I was in for, but I got to a point where I felt this is needed. This is wanted. We're losing the family connection here. I went to a showcase in a school, like 3rd or 4th graders. 2 kids in 2 classes knew their grandmother's maiden name. They knew nothing of their grandmother. I said, wow, that's so sad to me. My grandmothers were the best. That love is unconditional. And these kids didn't even have a clue. And I said, no, this needs to come back. That family connection needs to be brought back. We're losing it. We're losing it to technology. Kids are on their iPads. There's no conversation. My kids listen to my father-in-law speak about growing up in Italy, and their mouths are on the floor. They can't believe what they're hearing. Like, to them, what do you mean there was no phone? No phone. They're lucky they had water. They had to walk to get water from a well. My kids are like, what? They need to know where they came from. You weren't born with an iPad. It didn't work like that. And I think that's important for kids today to feel that little bit of, I don't know, humbleness maybe, that not everything just comes to you. You have to work for things. And hearing from their history, my kids appreciate things so much more now. And I want everyone in the world to have a grandma doll. Spark conversation. Talk to your parents about your history. There's no cultures, traditions passed down anymore. People going out to dinner for Thanksgiving. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You should be home cooking all day. That's what we did. Family got together. Everybody talked. It was fun. Today, it's gone. And I hate that.
How did you come up with the name?
Because I wanted to share my grandmas with the world. I was sharing my grandmothers because I thought they were the best. So I felt like everybody missed out on them. So I was sharing my grandmas. So I had made my grandmas to share with the world.
The website is grandmas, the letter two, and then share.com. How did you decide to make it grandmas2share.com instead of grandma.to or?
You can get there from all of them. I bought Grandmas2Share, Grandma2Share, Grandmas2, the letters T-O, Grandma2Share. I've covered all my bases.
Okay.
You can't miss it. You'll get there.
Right. Okay. Did you start off with a patent, or did you start off with a doll and then get the patent as needed? Or
I started looking for manufacturers to make me the doll based on my drawing. And they did. We went through 10 prototypes before I agreed on one. I finally agreed on the one I wanted, and that's not the one they made me. So my dolls ended up looking like aliens. And I got them the day before my grand opening. 1,000 dolls got shipped to me the day before my grand opening, and they were not the right dolls. So it was disastrous because I couldn't get my money back. So I tried everything I could to doctor up the doll or make it like I needed it to be. I tried pulling the stitching out of some of the cheeks because they made them like apples. They just didn't do the right prototype. They didn't put any stuffing in the fingers. So the fingers look like flat little flippers. Like, it just wasn't correct. So I had no choice. I started fixing them up myself. What was I going to do? I was stuck with them.
so you restitched like how many?
I had 1,000 of each style of doll.
And so you redid them all by hand yourself?
Most of them, yeah.
And how long did it take you?
Well, I did it as the orders came in.
Okay.
I started doing them a bunch at a time. Then I had a kiosk in the Staten Island Mall, and I sold 400 dolls in 2 months. And I was like, okay, I guess they like them the way they are.
Man.
What was I going to do? I couldn't do that many, I sold out of the kiosk, completely sold out. So it was like, okay, we have to put more in. And then my dad got sick. So they live in Florida, and I went to Florida, and I had people work the kiosk for me, and they called me and said, you're sold out. We need more dolls. And it was a week before Christmas. And my mother saying, go home. You have to. It's Christmas. Go put the dolls. Go to work. You have kids at home. You have to celebrate Christmas at home. And I didn't want to leave my father. But they all convinced me. And like a jerk, I did. I came home. And then my father died on Christmas Day. So it was, terrible. So he died, and then I pretty much died. I didn't do anything for like 9 months. I just dropped everything. And then I thought about it. I said, he would never want this. He called me every single day. What's going on? So I had no choice. I had to get back up on the horse and get back to work. But after I had those dolls created, I had a design patent made because I was afraid, this is a great idea. Someone's going to steal this. This is a great idea. And actually I did have someone steal it. So he called me, and he was already on Shark Tank. And I thought, oh, great, we can, collaborate. And he says, can you send me a couple of your dolls? I said, sure. Thinking he was going to help get me into retail. And then he was like, no, you're not ready for retail. Oh, what do I need to do? I thought he was going to give me some advice. I got no advice, except he made a grandma doll right after that. So I was like, oh, you're welcome. So I knew the patent was pretty important.
How about the patent? Did it take as long as you thought? And did it cost as much as you thought?
It didn't. I thought it was going to be forever. People like, oh, you'll be on And then I'm thinking, wow, when you have a new idea and you want to just get it out there, you don't realize how long things take. It took a couple of months, but I expected it to be people like, oh, you'll be waiting years. I'm like, years? What? But I had a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous patent attorney. Fabulous. And he got it done. Sent me the drawings, sent me everything. And then it's patent pending for a bit. And then the patent came through. And it was like, yes, you get excited. I trademarked the name because you need the word grandma in there. And I was, it's all new to me. I opened a business, boom. I opened it up. I painted, I put a new floor in. I offered a service. I had over 200 clients. I didn't sleep, but I offered a service. This is different. This is completely different. So I threw myself into it and learned everything I could about it. And here we are, 7 years later.
Ballpark price that you spent on your patent?
Well, it depends. Now, the patent alone, I also hired him for some other things. So it's hard, but I'm going to say around 7,000. Patent, trademark, opening that business license. I had to do that for New York. So I'm going to say around 7, but total all in all, I put about 90,000 into the business.
Ooh.
Yeah. Marketing, trade shows.
How do you like trade shows?
Trade shows are the best. That's how I got into Walmart.com. I'm on Macy's.com. I have 2 fantastic wholesalers now. Trade shows are the way to go, but they're $5 to $10,000 a show. So you go there, you get one good client, you're doing all right, but it's 3 days and you really got to hustle. And the New York Toy Show I haven't been to, that's like 10,000 to 12,000. I haven't been to that one yet. And then COVID hit. So who's shopping in a brick and mortar store anymore? Everything's online. So now digital marketing has to become, big. So I've done Facebook ads, Instagram ads. So the money goes.
What social media work best for you?
Facebook. Yeah, because it's my target audience. Instagram's young girls, posing in bikini shots. Facebook is look at my child's first day of school. Those are the people I need to target,
How did you find the manufacturer? I mean, at first you're probably mad that they didn't do a good job.
Right. Well, I switched with them. They're not with me anymore, but I went through 3 different ones I had to look at how many employees they had, how fast they could make the dolls. And also the MOQ is important. Some of them are 10,000. I'm not making 10,000 dolls if I don't know if the concept's going to sell. So I had to find the right company. So I went through Alibaba and I searched how long are they in business? How many employees do they have? What's their turnover time? What's their MOQ? And then I narrowed it down that way. But the most difficult part is anyone I've come across don't speak English. So everything is through, the WhatsApp or it's through the Alibaba site and it's all emails. So you have to wait the next morning and wake up. Did they email me back? So you can't really do what we're doing right now. So, I want the hair to look like this and I want the eyes to look like that. It was just like long distance, constant corresponding. So it takes longer than you expect.
Did you consider using somebody locally?
They wanted $35 just to make the pink box the doll goes in, a company in Chicago. And I said, oh, $35 for the box. And they said, well, you're using a lot of colors. I tried to do it here in America. You just can't. My only hope is to one day have my own manufacturing so I can oversee everything getting done. I can do it. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with the woman who created Pillow Pets.
I'm drawing a blank right now. I probably
It's a pillow.
do.
It's a pet. It's a pillow pet. Okay. And started out that her son would go in the car and didn't want to take a pillow and his stuffed animals, and her car was too full. She created a way to make it full. She started with 2, a dog and a cat, eventually opened her own manufacturing. She had 208 different pillow pets. And that's the key, is opening your own manufacturing plant where you can oversee everything getting done.
Plus you have just peace of mind because it's more in your control. Also, you can see if you're getting behind. I get it.
Exactly.
It's a big price that you have to cost. And next thing you know, they're so expensive that people won't buy them. So you're selling them on eBay and Amazon. Is that correct?
eBay, Amazon, I think Kohl's.com, Walmart.com, Etsy, Facebook, Instagram, obviously, Macy's.com. Yeah. They were in a couple of boutiques here on Staten Island as well.
So does Amazon do the best?
It used to. Unfortunately, I made a bad decision with a business deal I made. He assured me he was going to sell all my dolls for me on Amazon. I said, okay, great. Let's sign up a contract. He says, we don't do contracts. My word is gold. So I have all his text messages, all the emails back and forth corresponding. He was going to take care of all the marketing. He had a fantastic product himself that was selling off the market like crazy. And he was going to definitely push mine. Okay. He said, send me $150. I did. We were going to do a 70-30 split. And I sent him all my dolls, and he sold 150 of my dolls on Amazon. And he told me that he needed more marketing tools, everything else. I had $600 video made. I sent him the video, and he sold all my dolls and gave me nothing because he said it cost him too much money in marketing. So I got maybe $600 he gave me back. And he sold 150 of my dolls on Amazon and gave me no money for them. And then took the listing down. And another wholesaler tried to get it up, and she can't get them back up on Amazon right now. We can't figure it out.
So you're not even on Amazon right now?
Not right now. There's no helpline. There's no hotline. There's no one to speak to. I cannot get these dolls on Amazon. I put it in the Amazon Rockstars Facebook page. If anyone can help me, I will pay them. No response. I cannot figure out how to get them back. I don't know if he did something because he's a big Amazon guy. I don't know what it is. I cannot get them back on Amazon.
Tell me about the toy box experience.
Oh, it was fabulous. That was really, really good. The only thing I wish I didn't have the old dolls. I wish I had the new ones because they weren't recordable. And a couple of the kids were like, oh, it's creepy, but it was mostly the boys. But the little girls loved it. And Eric Stone Street was fabulous. And he loved the dolls. He thought they were great. And I was like, yes, I love this. Because he didn't have to say anything to me, He could have just went on with the show as the host. But he really loved it. He really loved them. And I thought that was great. People were so friendly. And I said, oh, I know what it's like to be famous now. They put you in a dressing room and there was someone sitting outside your dressing room. And you couldn't leave. If you had to go to the bathroom, they would walk you over because they didn't want you talking to any of the other contestants. So they came in, what would you like for lunch? What would you like to eat? Do you need anything? I was like, wow, this is fancy. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Did you sell a lot when it was aired the first time?
Yes. Actually, I had a viewing party here in my house and I had about 20 people. So we're all watching the show. And as I'm speaking on TV, my phone is going, ba-ding, ba-ding, Shopify, ba-ding, ba-ding, new order, ba-ding. It didn't stop the orders, and everybody came back the next day to help me box and ship them out. It was really nice. Was
that the busiest day you've ever had?
That was the busiest day. That and the week before Christmas, apparently, was super, super busy in the mall, sold out. Yeah, which was good because I did all the boxing at home, and then I put them in the mall. They just took them. But out here, I have to put them in the cardboard box and ship them.
What has been the best use of your time? And what has been the biggest waste of time?
Unfortunately, the biggest waste of time was having to repair all the dolls and try to make them as close to the original that I had wanted. That was a waste of time. The best use of my time would be if I could be more technologically inclined, I guess, to make those Facebook ads and how to target the audiences I need. Haven't had too much success with that where I see people put an ad and it goes viral. I don't know how to do that. These TikToks now, my niece is a big on TikTok, huge, tons of followers. Her business is very successful. So she started to do like a video for me, show me how to do it, but I don't know how to do it. So if I did, that would be the best use of my time. So maybe I'm going to have to learn.
If somebody came up to you and they knew very little about the inventing process or the inventing world, and they asked you for your advice, what advice would you give them?
Do your homework and trust no one. Do the research yourself and trust no one. No one. No one. Unless they're your business partner, no one. No one is going to help you for free. Zero. Nobody. So if you don't have a business partner and you don't have the right help, don't even dive in. But it is the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. And if you don't have help, you cannot do it. I don't care who you are. You cannot do it alone.
Well, specifically, what kind of help are you talking about?
People with knowledge. Like I've had people say, wow, I'm willing to invest tomorrow. I'm like, I don't need the money. I need the knowledge. Do you know how to help me? I'll do all the work. I don't sleep. My friends and family think I'm a vampire. They don't know how I'm human because I do this myself. So if you're going to help me, I need the knowledge, not the money, not the funds. I'll work. Just tell me what to do. So if you don't have somebody with more hands-on experience or someone willing to show you how to do it, you can't do it. You can't. You can't learn everything on your own. It's impossible. Plus learning on your own and then actually doing it. It's ridiculous. It's not enough hours in the day. You can't. I get the order in. I print the label. I have to box the doll, put the handwritten note, put it in the box, ship the doll, put the label on, bring it to the post office, put it outside, put it in the account, fill it out, mark it as fulfilled. It's not like one, two, three. It's the process. I get 4 orders a day and that's it. One person. Imagine it coming busier and busier and busier. I wouldn't be able to do it. You cannot run a business alone. I don't care who you are. That's my advice. Get a partner.
Women inventors in the 7%. What does it mean to you to be a woman inventor in 2021?
Well, let me tell you something. People say the odds are stacked against you being in the minority group, but the women I know don't stand for that. They rise above that. And you want something, you work for it. We get nothing handed to us. And okay, you might have to work a little harder. But the reception I've gotten when people hear my story are like, wow, you did that by yourself. You know, it's impressive to some people. And that is motivation. That's motivation. Like people say you can't do it. You're not going to do it. It's stupid. Nobody wants that. It's not Barbie. It's ugly. It's creepy. It's dumb. Makes you work harder. And you'll find later on in life, as I'm finding now, the more successful you are, the less people are cheering for you. And it makes you want to do it more. I mean, I'm lucky. I have a very, very, very good support system. My family and friends think I'm a rock star. They're like, wow, you're amazing. And I feel anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. You just have to apply yourself. So women inventors, yes, 7%, because they're feeling they're either don't think they can do it or they have other obligations, which is understandable. I was fortunate enough to be home, raise my kids, work part-time, and then open a business. I was fortunate enough. I was my own boss for 40 years. So it worked out for me. But it is an honor to be included in that because I realized that 7% is really a very small number. So I feel anyone who can do this on their own, man or woman, it's impressive. Starting your own business is a big change. It's a big risk. You know, you're risking a lot of the money and hoping that it doesn't fail. And the hardships you come across the way. When my father died on Christmas and I left him, my world crashed. And I thought, this is it. And then when the toy box called and said they wanted me on the show, I said, I have to do it. I have to do it. My father would, and it pushes you through. There's always something that makes you say, I have to do this. I have to follow through with this. Even if it's a hater or someone, or if you want it enough, you're going to do it. And women have passion. Women have that drive. So that I think is what makes those women in your book successful is because we have that drive. When you tell us no, oh no, it's not no, it's yes. We're doing it. And that's how it was my whole life. You're saying you can't do it? Yes, I can. And then it becomes more of a challenge. Even in poker, there's very few women in poker. So you sit down at a poker table and the guy next to you goes, oh, boyfriend teach you how to play? I'm like, you know, it's just automatic that it's a woman in poker. It's like, what do you mean? It's not the norm. Same thing with a business owner. You don't expect it to be a woman. But when we do it, and we do it right.